Hi everybody, this is a short demo of the Airfoil Editor version 2. The Airfoil Editor is, on one hand, a fast airfoil viewer to show DAT files of an airfoil, on the other hand, a quite powerful editor to modify the geometry of an airfoil. Focusing on an airfoil's geometry and not on the aerodynamic properties, the principle of this little app is don't do too much, but do it really well. As the Airfoil Editor is an open source project, you may download the app from GitHub for free. I will show you the installation at the end of this video. Okay, let's get started. On my desktop, I have a folder with some example airfoils. Here we are with the list of the airfoils. What I already did is to assign the file extension DAT to the app Airfoil Editor, and this allows me to open an airfoil with a double click. And here we are, the Airfoil Editor. In the center of the Airfoil Editor, there's the big diagram area, and here I can zoom and pan the airfoil. Um, in the lower left corner, you see the symbol, this double arrow. Clicking on it will bring me back to the initial view of this airfoil. With the view airfoil, I can control the information which is shown in the diagram. For example, we can have a look at the coordinate points or um, display the thickness and the camber distribution of this airfoil. Here in this distribution lines, you can also see the high points. For example, here we have the high point of the thickness distribution at 11.71%. This is the same information you have here in the data area, for example, for thickness. Okay, in the lower left corner, there's a little file menu with the combo box and showing the Clark Y airfoil. Clicking on it will bring the list of all airfoils in this folder. I can quickly jump, for example, to the NM12 airfoil. Using the mouse wheel, I can browse very quickly through all the airfoils in this folder, in this current folder. The reference airfoils allows to select another airfoil which will be taken as a reference to the current airfoil, for example, again the MH31. And this airfoil will be displayed also if I change here the current airfoil. This functionality is helpful to find another airfoil which is similar to my reference airfoil. Okay, I switch it off again and choose another airfoil, this example for a reflexed airfoil, which is typical airfoil for flying blanks, having this reflexed tail at the upper side. The curvature diagram, this is the second diagram, shows the curvature of the upper and the lower surface, and it's very helpful to examine the geometry of an airfoil, showing the change from plus to minus the curvature around here, which is around here. Maybe you noticed already this checkbox to link the x-axis of the diagrams. If I click on it, both axes are linked. So if I zoom here, it will be also zoomed in another diagram and vice versa. Again, the double arrow brings me back to the initial state. Here in this curvature diagram, where the curvature at the leading edge will have very high values over 100 or 500, this A is helpful, which will show all the data in the diagram. Clicking on it, I see here that this airfoil has a maximum of the curvature at the leading edge of 160. Again, double arrow will bring me back. Yeah, that's it so far. The view functionality, or the main view functionality of the airfoil editor. Next, we will have a look, or not only look, we will modify the airfoil. We'll take the marvelous SD703, which we want to tune a little bit for our purposes. Let's have a closer look at the airfoil. There are some messages. One says leading edge is not at 0. Let's have a look at the leading edge. Right, the leading edge here is not at 0, and the minimum angle of the two leading edge panels is too sharp here. That's the consequence of the very few panels the SD currently has. So we will have several tasks. First, to optimize the panels of the airfoil, and then we will customize the geometry. We'll enter the edit mode of the airfoil editor with modify airfoil. The edit mode is visualized with this red panel in the left lower corner. To keep in mind that we are modifying now the airfoil. On entering the edit mode, the airfoil editor always normalizes an airfoil. So we see it here, the leading edge of our SD airfoil is already at 0. We'll check it. We'll check it. Yes. So the next task is that we increase the number of panels. We have here a little dialog and repanel. These are the default values. You can change, for example, here the bunching of the panels at the leading edge, like this little bunching, maximum bunching. This value is fine. Okay. Now the paneling looks perfect for this airfoil, with the higher bunching at the leading edge and a little bunching at the trailing edge. So now we can focus on the geometry modifications. There are several ways to modify the geometry. One is just to enter a new value, for example, the thickness. We want to go to 7%. You can use these little buttons to increase or decrease the value, or you can use the mouse. If we turn on the display of the distribution lines, we can catch this high point and just move it around. We go a little bit backward, so 28% is fine. And also with the camber high point, we go a little bit backward to adapt it to higher speeds. This looks already fine and quite fast. Okay, so we'll finish And here's the last step where we can modify the name of our airfoil. Currently the name is quite long because they are the modification short form of the modification we made. We do not need this, so we just call it the modified version of our SD airfoil. We take this button use name, so the file name will be the same like the name of the airfoil. Okay, and here we are, our super fast new SD7003. As the Airfoil Editor is an open source project, you will find the Airfoil Editor on GitHub. The easiest way to go there is just to Google Airfoil Editor GitHub, and here it is. This is the repository of the Airfoil Editor. There's a lot of development stuff, which is not so important. Maybe two tabs are interesting. One, discussions. If you have any questions or recommendations for the Airfoil Editor, please enter topic here. And if you find a bug in the Airfoil Editor, it would be super good if you enter this issue here under the tab Issues. But we want to download the Airfoil Editor, and we find the newest release here in the Releases section. Here it is. In the section Assets, there's a ready-built version of the Airfoil Editor for Windows. We can download it, and here are the source code, the Python files, if you have Linux or want to run the Airfoil Editor on a Mac. So let's download the Windows installation. Takes a few seconds. And here we are. For this demo, we install the Airfoil Editor on our desktop. So we just move it to our desktop and tell to extract all the files in the zip file. It's unzipping. Okay, that's it. The Airfoil Editor is ready to run. We double click, get a message from Windows. We say, yes, this is a friendly program. And here we are. Normally there's one last thing. In our case, it should have been Bezier curves. Bezier curves are really interesting to smooth an airfoil's geometry, but as this video is already quite long, I would show it in another video if there is interest. For me, left to say thank you for watching this video. Good luck working with the Airfoil Editor.